Kia ora and welcome to KLTV. Today we spoke to Kaipara District Council mayoral candidate G.W Gent about his campaign, his aspirations as mayor and his vision for the Kaipara. Firstly, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be mayor?
My name's G.W Gent. I'm a dairy farmer from Ruawai. Started my life banking and then went dairy farming, and then in latter years, probably the last 20 years, I've been heavily involved in governance. That started with the Ruawai Primary School Board of Trustees and progressed through the dairy industry to chairing Kiwi Dairies, which was half of the dairy industry at that time, into Fonterra, and I hold a number of roles now, still in governance. The why question is simply born here, I'll die here. It's my home and I wanted to see it succeed, and what happened in the past I saw is very sad, and I think my experience brought home can help. Simple as that.
So leading on from that, what would you say are some of the biggest issues facing the district and what are your highest priorities?
The biggest issue is financial. So it's the juggling act between providing services that we need and improving things and reducing debt. We've got core debt of around 65 million, so we're one of the most indebted councils per capita in New Zealand. But we've got to improve the district, keep it going ahead. So we're going to have to be really nimble as a council around how we achieve those things.
So given the council's checkered performance in recent years,
Yep.
How will you gain the trust and respect of residents and ratepayers?
I think through the council performing and them being able to see that, through doing a true consultation, not listening but not adapting, and I think getting the council into a team. I'm used to chairing boards, and a board is like any other group of people, it's a team, and the council will have to operate as one cohesive, united team. To achieve that, we all have to agree on the vision and where we're heading. So if I'm mayor, I'll spend a lot of time on that, around what actually we want to do and what do we want to achieve, knock that down to bite-sized bits so we all buy into it.
The Kaipara is a diverse electorate on many levels. How will you unite the district and engender community spirit?
Kaipara is a challenge because you've got $1 million plus houses in Mayoral and you've got probably $150,000 houses in TK down the road. So that does lift the challenge. And Dargaville and Mayoral, the two extremes, there's not a great community of interest between them. So I don't think there's one model that will fit over the lot. And there's also a lot of Kaipara ratepayers where the rates bill is a big part of their costs. A lot of pensioners here and the like, fixed incomes. So, we've got to be very careful around that as well.
A long-held concern is the condition of our roads. Are we likely to see an improvement in roading infrastructure and footpaths if you become mayor?
I'd like to think so. The reality is we earn about $50 million in total between rates and levies and fees and the like. 80% of that today goes in roads and footpaths. So you could actually argue we're a roads and footpaths council. So it is around trying to do that as efficiently as we can and keep to a reasonable standard. To make that worse, 75% of those roads are gravel, and there's 1,500 kilometres of them. So are the challenges.
The environment is another big issue and also a very broad one. Are there any areas in which you'd like to see changes?
Regional Council will handle most of that, I think, but I think we should, as a council, and certainly as councils, lead by example. Anne and I, all our stuff has always come to Dargaville Refuge Centre. Not always, but probably for the last 3 years. We irrigate everything on the dairy farms. We allow nothing to go to water. So it is a bit of leading by example. But we've got to be realistic around what we can do. In the environment, I think Regional Council, we pay them to do it. We probably don't want to double up.
How do you plan to facilitate the region's economic growth?
I think the main thing around economic growth is providing an environment where businesses can do business easily. So ensuring our systems are fast, approvals are fast, we're welcoming in the way we sort of interact with potential new businesses coming in. We're small. And the thing that small should be is nimble. If you're small but you're slow, it's ugly. And I will push hard to make sure the latter isn't the case.
Finally, can you give us 3 reasons why people should vote for you?
3 reasons. I think my experience really in governance roles. Today I chair Southern Cross Group, 3,500 staff, billion in revenue, FMG a bit smaller, some reasonable governance jobs, but I have done the smaller ones. So I think this council needs that experience. That is one. I think of an ability to build teams. I think I've proven that the boards I chair. I think that's important. And the third one, I think, is about the whole local thing. I get that, and I want to come back, spend more time here and do some of those things. And I do acknowledge that I'll have to give up some of my current roles to do this one. I will be too busy otherwise, so I do understand that.
Thank you for your time today and all the best for your campaign.
My pleasure, thanks.
And that was Greg Gent. For more news and interviews, you can follow our coverage of the local elections in the Kaipara Lifestyler and on our website. I'm Joanne Speechley. Ka kite anō.